All right, turning back to our top story now. Hurricane Dorian. Much of what we know about the storm comes from hurricane hunters who track them from the sky. And as we continue to track Dorian, our Errol Barnett took a flight on a U.S. Air Force plane that flew right into the eye of the hurricane. Errol, this sounds like a pretty dangerous mission.
Yes, Anne-Marie, and that's because it is. Consider that before we headed into the storm, the hurricane hunters before us on an aircraft had to return to this base because of a mechanical issue. Of course, you don't want to take any chances up in the air, but let me show you the aircraft. Folks in the military will recognize them. They're pretty common. They're they're C-130 Hercules aircraft, but they've been modified to tackle hurricanes. So they are WC-130Js. One of the modifications is this external fuel tank under the wing. It's one of two, and it allows this aircraft to stay in the air up to 14 hours, making for one truly epic flight.
All right, everybody seated.
As the 53rd Weather Reconnaissance Squadron begins their ascent,
here's the center of a storm, and then this is going to be our entry point.
The menacing target of their mission, Hurricane Dorian, threatens 25 million people in its projected path. About 10,000 feet in the sky, Chief Pilot Lieutenant Colonel Jeff Ragusa and his crew are collecting data to track the storm's impact around the clock.
How is what we're doing over the Bahamas now helping people in Florida and Georgia in the days ahead?
Knowing what it's doing now is going to be the information that they need to know, where it's going to be.
The crew drops GPS sensors like these while flying directly through the hurricane's eye to its edge and back again as many as 4 times. They gather information about the storm's speed, direction, and winds.
If you take a look at this radar behind me, you can see that we are in the eye wall of Hurricane Dorian, and you can feel the turbulence increase. The light is diminishing, and it really gives you a sense of just how unstable the middle of these massive storms can be.
Up here, the scenery can change within moments, from the gray and choppy eye wall to the storm's eerily bright and serene eye. On the ground, violent and dangerous winds are ravaging the Bahamas. Dorian's next target, the United States.
It's going to start basically just hugging the whole eastern coastline of the United States up until North Carolina. So just as far as people being prepared, just because it's not going to make landfall doesn't mean that you're any less danger.
And as we left the Bahamas, we caught sight of this sunset over Florida, a reminder that even nature's beauty can betray approaching danger.
Yeah, that's actually a really beautiful shot, Errol. But I even thought, the image flying towards the hurricane looked pretty beautiful as well. I mean, you see those clouds. They don't look that bad. What was it like?
Well, Anne-Marie, you touched on the dichotomy of this experience. I mean, it's thrilling, it's exciting to be around the Air Force reservists and do work that effectively aims to save people's lives. And certainly some of the footage and some of the shots is scenic, it's amazing. And in the hurricane eye, it's calm and serene. You can see the blue, clear skies. But the reality is this storm has devastated Grand Bahama Island. These storms carry the potential to devastate and flood the Florida coastline and everything in between. And so that really underscored the importance of why these men and women do these 10 to 12 hour flights on a constant rotation during hurricane season. So the aircraft you see behind me is the next one to go out. Folks are getting this ready to head out on a noon local flight, but there can be any variable of things that go wrong, and they have to be ready to alleviate those concerns and mitigate them so they can get the mission done.
I know even now, we don't really know what sort of damage this hurricane has done to Grand Bahama Islands because people can't get to the area because of this storm. So how important are these flights to what we know about hurricanes today?
It's crucial because of 2 things. The warnings ahead of time are more accurate and specific based on what the hurricane hunters do. As soon as there are storms brewing in the ocean, these planes will fly into them, measure in real time the strength, the wind direction, the speed. What's been unusual about Dorian is it stalled over the Bahamas. It just sat there during our entire 10-hour journey, and that's unusual too. Part of what they do is not just predicting where this storm will move, but all of of the data, the drop zones that were being placed into this hurricane, and there was a Navy mission as well gathering data from the ocean, all of that will build the computer models that we all use when we predict the next hurricane. So when you see those spaghetti models that the forecasters and weather reporters will show us and say, oh, it's perhaps coming to your part of the country, those models are built based on data that these flights collect. So it really gives you a sense of why it's so important for them to continually be in these storms despite the danger.
Yeah, Errol Barnett, thank you very much.
You got it.